So
Amazon is telling me, Cyrus keeps saying, I didn't hear what you said. I didn't see this thing recorded and all that stuff I'm talking. Man, this is dangerous society. You know, you talking and telephone recording and you can't stop it.
It's
Yeah.
welcome back to the show. We got a guest today, special guest Brody. We got one more coming.
Hey, that's me.
Brody's we're international now. We got Brody over here in Canada.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah, international.
Shooting live. Oh man,
right.
Goodness. What beers we got today, gentlemen?
Well, I'm gonna start out with you ever heard of Keystone Ice?
I'm familiar.
Yeah, I think I know what that is.
Keystone, but the ice, I just saw it and grabbed one. I said, well, yeah. One time I was drinking some cranberry juice.
Keystone Ice. That's you're gonna have a good day, Grandpa.
Oh yeah,
it's that ice stuff though. It'll get you.
I have you slumped.
Yeah. I'm glad you had called earlier. I was out there cutting the grass, but I thought it was about 10, 11 o'clock. I didn't know it was this late in the evening.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Time flies.
What about you, Brody? What you got?
I've got a local brew.
All right.
It's Geronimo IPA from Walkerville Brewery.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's the name of
Real
that
good
again?
stuff. Geronimo IPA.
Oh, Geronimo IPA. Never heard. Is that it? They sell it in Michigan?
No, I don't think so. It's from Windsor, Ontario.
I never heard of it before. Hey, I got it.
No, it's local.
Mark that down, Josh.
I love it.
What's across the bridge?
What you drinking, Josh?
Oh, I found this thing called Fuller's Vintage Ales in a red box.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. You getting like
That's like
pool. You know, you got some vintage ale. Eh?
Well, you know, it was $5. So you know, nothing wrong with taking a chance on a hot and ready beer.
See,
Oh, okay.
we don't have those prices over here. We get I don't even know how much this was, but it definitely was probably more than $5.
Here's our last guest. This is Asia. She's
Hi.
you know.
Hi, how you doing?
Oh,
This is Brody. Asia Brody.
Yeah.
You remember Grandpa?
Hi, Grandpa.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
all right.
That came in. What you drinking today?
Oh,
You got put closer to the thing.
Oh, okay. I'm drinking this raspberry lambic.
That's what you're drinking?
man.
Yeah, my mom really loves this one, so I got it, and I think it tastes.
I mean, is that a beer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man.
That's different. Oh, we got the cans.
Yeah.
You want to sit? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
All right. All right. So this is Grandpa. You want to start off on your ranking of your what is it? You got Keystone Ice.
Yeah, well, this Keystone Ice, I don't even know where to start on that. All I know is ice, so I'm gonna have to move it. At least start out with a 5, 4.5. Cause I ain't never had none, like Keystone Ice. I just have to see it and grab it,
Well, you gotta crack it open. You got,
yeah, okay, yeah.
Hey, Brody, why are you doing that? Tell him about the Blue Moon thing you were telling me.
Oh yeah. I wanted to double check it, but we don't have Blue Moon over here. We've got Belgian Moon.
Oh, Belgian Moon.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
I was told, and I wanted to look it up. Maybe this is true.
That wasn't the one you showed me a while ago, was it?
Oh no, yeah. I just got 2. One for show and tell, and one for testing here.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. So when I was at state and 21, we would drink Blue Moon, but then we got Belgian Moon, I don't know, like 5-6 years ago. But I guess they had to change the name because I don't know, some issue with Blue, Labatt's Blue. They had it was too similar or something like that. But allegedly, I think that's true. I'm not sure. Because we started getting, I used to work at Caesars Windsor, and then Americans would come over and ask for Blue Moon, and we'd have Belgian Moon.
Got Belgian Moon. Man.
Same thing, I guess.
Same thing, just a different name.
Oh yeah. Can't call it
Almost
Blue.
even the name is the same.
Yeah, it's the same.
Belgian
Thing.
Moon,
It's the same
Blue
thing. I'm
Moon.
pretty sure it's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And
Yeah,
Josh,
that's
what's that you drinking again?
Oh, this is Fuller's Vintage Ale, 2015.
Okay.
Bottle.
Have you opened? Have you poured some?
I haven't poured none yet. No, I had just opened it.
I'm gonna see what kind of head I get off of this one.
All right, go for it.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
I forgot my glass.
Oh, you don't have to worry. You just,
I know, but you got to get all the points of the beer, right?
that
I don't know. I don't care if I run and get a glass.
looks like a beer head, don't it?
yeah, it looks pretty solid. Really good for.
Yeah.
It's nice.
All right, all right. Okay. You want to taste it, or you want to let Brody go?
Yeah. Well, let's you poured yours yet?
Yeah,
I
I'm pouring it in my mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, you ain't got no glass.
No.
Oh, me neither.
And then you're cheating. You wanted to see what kind of head you had on that beer.
Well, I gotta get a glass now.
No, I was saying Joshua.
I still need one though.
Can't pour it though. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what I'm thinking here.
All right,
Yeah.
tell you what you think.
It's not bad. Not bad for a nice beer. Of course, my judgment might be a little different than everybody else. Somebody else might say that's garbage. Like food say, that's garbage you're drinking.
Oh man. No, I gotta try this. I gotta try with this. Y'all can try it with yours is.
That's at least a 5 there.
Uh-oh.
By the end of the conference,
Well,
then we can move up.
This is like syrup.
Oh no.
It's like beer syrup.
Yeah, you gotta waft it, right?
Yeah.
Love it.
What you giving it, Brody?
We get 8.7. I don't know why.
8.7.
8.7.
8.
Yeah, he had to put his phone down.
I gotta get what is that he drinking? Start out with an 8.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
that's
8.7.
good.
Oh,
I'm a little biased. I mean, we got the Canadian flag on there too, so I mean,
Oh yeah.
that's that extra 0.7 there.
Yeah, he got out with 8. We ain't never got over start out no more than a 5 and 5.5, have we?
No.
6 maybe. That's 8. That Canadian is on the ball. Of course, I remember once they had this. I think it was. Going back now. Canadian Red Cap. You ever heard of Canadian Red Cap ale?
I can't say I have. No.
That's
No.
going back way. I know they used to have it. I used to love it. We used to go over in the Windsor there, and get some Canadian Red Cap.
I don't know.
It might be something different now. Grandpa keeps saying
It was an ale, but it was good.
I'm
Grandpa
writing
keeps
that
saying it
down.
was it had like a can with a big red maple leaf on it or something.
Yeah. In fact,
Maple Leafs on everything over here.
have you ever heard of the Walker House in Windsor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Walkerville.
Is it still in existence? Walker House.
Yeah, I
There's
think
a
I know what you're
place
talking
you can
about.
go and drink beer.
Is it right on the water? Are you talking about the old?
It was close to the water. I can't remember because I haven't been there since the 50s. Walker House.
I think so.
That was 70 years ago.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He wouldn't know, but I mean, he might have heard of it because they had a name. If they were still in existence, they had a pretty good. It was a nice place where you could come over and drink some beers that they didn't have here, in the States.
Maybe I know. I forget. I just can't think of the name right now. I should. But
It
it's
was-
right there. It's like Walkerville. No, I don't know.
But like I
Maybe.
said,
Well,
that was back in the 50s. None of
hey,
y'all even heard of.
Grandpa, let Asia rate hers too. What are you giving yours?
Oh,
I'm giving mine. I said a 5. I'm giving a 5.5 because it's tasting better as we go along.
Grandpa's smart.
that's right. I don't know.
well, I was gonna give this maybe a 6 or a 6.5. It's really
You
sweet.
guys- What do you guys like? What's it? Jeez.
So you can show.
Oh yeah,
8 feels high now.
it's pretty sweet. And I don't usually drink that much sweet beer. I usually drink more I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Don't let Asia's cool demeanor fool you. She could drink you under the table if she wanted.
Oh yeah.
I got this is this definitely tastes like syrup, like chocolatey coffee syrup with alcohol in it.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
different.
This is
Is that
like a
stout?
3 or a 4. I'm
I'm
probably never gonna buy this again. Here, you can try it.
It doesn't even look like a beer.
Not too much.
Watch out.
Age on me now, so it wouldn't be hard to drink me under the table, with all these years behind me, they,
I think that could be good if it were cold.
Maybe. I mean, like,
Or I think it being cold would give it another point.
maybe.
I get what you mean about it.
You're drinking it warm?
It's not like
Yeah, he just got it.
who's drinking the warm?
me. I was drinking this warm. I was like, man.
Oh, mine ice cold. Well, it's, you know, ice,
Yeah, it's
nice and cold. I just got
Ice.
ice.
that's not fair.
See, he
Why-
didn't get a fair chance.
No, it's
Hey,
Yeah,
It would still only be a point better if it was colder. I mean, it would.
But
I
that
don't
would
know.
put
I
it
guess.
on par, you know, make it average.
yeah.
I'm gonna drink it, but I'm not gonna be happy about it.
Mhm.
I'm happy. I like this.
what does it taste like, Brody? Is that IPA or something?
It's an IPA. I like that. So I guess I'm a little. I was gonna say bitter. No, I'm a little biased. I guess I like IPAs. I don't know. I like it. It's just it's bitter, but it also has like a fruity kind of.
Explain to me the IPA. What does IPA mean?
In India Pale Ale. I believe it was.
Pale ale.
Yeah,
Oh,
India
yeah.
Pale Ale, because it was. I want to say it was something to do with the British, the way they would store their ale to make the trip to India or something. I don't know if that's true.
Oh,
But
okay.
I thought that's what it was. So it's bitter.
India Pale.
It lasts
That
longer.
makes
I don't know.
sense. Yeah.
I just would always, try and pick the beer when we go out, like with the highest percentage, and it just always turns out to be pale ale, and they have the bitter units,
Mhm.
which is bitter. So I just thought I was cool drinking, the gross beer that
Yeah.
might be a little bit
What's
more
the alcohol
potent.
percentage on that?
6.3, and that's in Canadian percentage.
What does that mean?
Yeah. Well, we always, and I kind of attest to it. Your beer over there when we were over there at State, it was just they would say, maybe 5%, but like here that'd be like, I don't know, it was like allegedly watered down, right?
Oh,
You guys
wow.
have different standards.
Well, that would be
I
the 6
don't know.
point would be.
Find it online.
I don't know how much stock I put in that. That was always a thing just growing up younger.
Uh-huh.
They would always say like, oh, American beer is just like water, or it's watered down because Canada where we got our beer.
okay.
So because of my hometown, they have Seagram, so like Crown Royal.
Yeah.
That was
Wait, so like, I didn't know. You know what? That makes sense if I had thought about that. So Crown Royale is Canadian.
hmm
See that I did not 100%
What was Canadian?
Crown Royal.
Crown Royal, CC. Yeah.
Oh, you're talking the whiskey.
Yeah, it's Canadian.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, my Amherstburg is where they made it. Or I don't know if they still make
Canada
it.
Club. If I'm not mistaken, Canada Club. Don't they have a distillery right there on the river?
Yeah, that's right there.
Canada Club. I think they got a big thing. I used to go out to Belle Isle. Seems like Canada Club.
Yeah, no, that's Canada Club. Yeah.
That's,
I'm that. Yeah,
You know what?
not Crown Royal. Canada Club is CC. I don't know what
All
I'm
this
talking about.
liquor and beer that we see that we buy, it's just right across the bridge. We can just in the distillery is right there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
We just never go.
Yeah, you could just.
yeah, because it seemed like right across. I used to go to Belle Isle, walk around the island.
Yeah.
Folks would be going down to Lake Erie,
Mm-hmm.
and seemed like there's a big sign said Canadian Club.
Yep.
Liquor. Not beer but liquor. Yeah, CC.
That's still there. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think some other company owns it now, but they still make stuff there.
Yeah.
You can smell the yeast when they're brewing down there. It's nice. So do all that stuff.
Canada played a major part back in the day. When I was coming up, they used to have in the Baptist church. They used to baptize in the river. Detroit River,
Oh yeah.
and they go over to Canada. And they baptize in the Canadian side. So it was kind of interlocked there, but Canada was, like now you got to show the man your passport and all that stuff, but
It's a
back
lot
in the day,
different. Yeah.
he just asked you where you going,
Mm-hmm.
But Canada played a major part in the Detroit area. There's a little history behind it,
Yeah. It's
Why they have to go to the Canada side to baptize people?
I don't know, maybe the water was shallow. They baptized in the river. I think if you stepped
it's
off
different.
in Detroit, you might go down a little bit further. I really don't know, but I'm just assuming that the area where they used to baptize in was a little bit more shallower than the Detroit side, Well, they go
that's-
into
I'm gonna have to
the
look into that. I never heard of that before.
Yeah, I didn't know
No,
that.
Oh, yeah.
you wouldn't hear nothing back that happened back in the 40s, 30s. You know, you're supposed to hear about it. You know, that's some history. You know, yeah, I'm the
Like I was
last that historian. You know, when I go, won't nobody ever know that we used to baptize.
I never heard that.
So you didn't have to have no passport. You just walked across the bridge, and that was it. You can just come and go.
No. They asked you where you're going. You know, what are you bringing and stuff like that. But they didn't say, well, you got to have a passport and all that stuff.
I remember that.
You got to have some identification. You know.
Oh,
We
it was
had birth
good-
certificates.
which is good faith.
Do that.
Right, before you,
Yeah.
maybe I think maybe might have showed you driver's license or something, but it was.
I remember
it was
that.
nothing like this, you know. It was
No.
now. Over there, it was a daily thing. And
It's a lot different.
during the war too, they would sometimes because there was a rationing going on here in the United States, and so if you wanted some, you know, say for instance you had a ration card, maybe you was allowed 5 pounds of beef a week or something, you know, during the war. Over in Canada, they had no ration, you know. And so if you went across the bridge, you could go over there and, you know, you could get you some beef and things. They just ask you how much you got, you know, or something. But then again, too, you'd have to maybe kind of hide it up under the seat, you know. But that's a war story. That's World War II.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know they had red stuff. I know so how'd you get the food then?
Like, I mean,
when you said ration cards, so it's like
they had ration card. Yeah, if you wanted some sugar, you know, you might be allowed 5 pounds a week or 2 pounds a week for sugar. So you get the ration card, and you got that. And if you wanted more, you had to get somebody else's ration card. You get, you know. I mean, it was a time during the war when we had blackouts. You know, ain't nobody ever bummed nothing, but a certain time of night, you know, they had the street wardens, you know, where the somebody would be a block warden, make sure that everybody's lights out by a certain time, you know. So it was kind of strict because they didn't know what the potentials of, you know, of the Germans or the Axis, what they want to call them, never know what their potential was. So it was.
How long did that last?
Huh?
How long did that last?
Yeah,
It lasted during the duration of the war. I think from about, the war was December the 7th, Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, so about 42 to 45 when the war ended. About
So for 3 years, y'all had to live like that?
That wasn't bad. You know, the war just come and make sure your lights was out. It got dark, you know. They had street wardens and stuff like that. Ration cards where you could go. They allowed you so much meat because, you know, hey, you know, that was the big war. You know, a lot of food was going overseas, you know.
Jeez.
Wow.
But overall, the United States government, the people, they were much more together, I'd say, you know. And they had the scrap drives and the defense things and the bond sales, you know, and stuff. I mean, everybody was out to defeat their enemy. That's where this country is kind of like, you know, built up.
Yeah, it sounds like they incentivize people to help. They incentivize people to help. Because you could buy bonds and stuff, and like it was like a guarantee that you would get some money back for helping.
Oh, you talking about the bonds, buying bonds?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was you bought a bond, it was $18.75. But if you kept it for the duration, which was 10 years, you could get $25 for that $18 bond. So a lot of people cashed in on it, you know. They bought those bonds, you know, and then over a 10-year period, they cashed in and they got $25 for an $18 investment. That ain't bad, you know. But that's history.
Yes. I didn't know that. I didn't teach a lot of American stuff to us in high school, but
okay.
You know, a little bit.
Yeah, well, you know, like
I learned much.
they had no reason probably, you know, to teach you all that, you know, because like I'm talking back in the 40s and, you know, so there was no reason to teach you about, you know, us buying bonds and scrap drives.
I know a little bit. I remember a little bit because I know. Yeah. So I like that. I remember that in high school about the World War II stuff. I don't know. I really I don't know, it was interesting. So I remember a lot. I remember some of it. And I don't want to say a lot because you can't test me because I won't remember, but I remember a little bit.
You know, we were talking about the other day about polio, you know, infantile paralysis, you know. It's the same thing like this virus we got now. We had this polio virus, you know, and they used to cripple kids, you know, up until about 1960 when they had a what you call them for it?
Vaccine.
A what?
The vaccine.
Yeah, vaccine. Thank you. I can't put it. Yeah, vaccine. They got a vaccine for it. You know, it was paralyzing to a lot of people. Like I was saying, you know, Franklin Delano Roosevelt had infantile paralysis, and this was back in the 20s. And when he became president, he was paralyzed because you never saw him walking, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was always in a wheelchair or sitting, but you know, standing, but you never saw him walking because he was paralyzed. He was at this particular time, he was Secretary of the Navy, I believe, and he caught it, you know. So when he was president, he was paralyzed when he became president, you know. But of course, that was history. Yeah.
That's wild,
Yes.
man.
That mean the disease was sort of like it wasn't so detrimental like here. Now people are dying from the virus. Well, back in the day, some people died and some people were able to survive, but they could be paralyzed. You know, you see the kids with they sell stamps, paralysis for every year, like Easter stamps. You know, it would be for collecting money for research on infantile paralysis. It was big, you know. So back in the 40s, you know, and the schools were all participating in buying the stamps and things, you know, to cure this thing. And finally, they got a vaccine. I think it was in the 60s.
It took them 40
in
years.
fact, the other day they had Jonas Salk. Did anybody see it? Jonas Salk, the founder of the vaccine. His son was on there. His son was on there. He's a professor, I think, at a doctor at Pittsburgh, University of Pittsburgh, I believe. But his father founded the Salk vaccine for infantile paralysis, you know.
Wow.
It was devastating communities, man. Yeah, schools, you know, where they had kids going to school and they would have rehab them there, you know.
That was where they had like the iron lung, right? They had them all in those machines.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in severe cases, right.
Yeah. All right, I mean, I looked it up, but I remember it was the iron lung, I think, right?
Yeah, the iron lung. Yeah, it was. It kind of devastated the
That's
society, the community, whatever. But anyway, I'm just hoping that they can find something. I don't know whether they're gonna be like Trump saying gonna find it overnight. He said everybody else saying, you know, it's sometime in 8, 10, 15 years, you know, to get a vaccine for it, you know.
Well, back then, yeah, but now there's so many people, you know, there's a lot of allegedly.
Right, but all these scientists and they're cautious of saying at least 12 to 18 months, you know, that's what they're predicting, you know, for the vaccine.
Yeah, it
They're
takes.
cutting it down, you know, but they don't know how long it will take, but that's what they're saying now.
Yeah.
Now we might be able to get one in a year or 18 months, you know.
Internet is a great tool that they didn't have back in the day because, like, I can't even imagine living like this for 40 years on lockdown.
I couldn't.
Because, like, you're like, yeah, man, the war, we were on lockdown for 3 years. But, yeah, polio was here for 40 years, and we didn't have anything for that. You just, if you got it, you got it.
Even the Spanish flu after the war, like, it was, it devastated and killed more people than the war ever did. And, like, that's...
Yeah.
It took them a while to get rid of the Spanish flu too, didn't it?
What now?
How long did it take for them to get rid of the Spanish flu?
I don't know, but it was so devastating. Evidently, it must have been a couple of years ago. How many people died during the Spanish?
It was like 5 million people, right?
5 million people died?
Yeah, I think so. It was like 5
I know
million.
it was big, you know, but I can't recall what the amount was. But it was right after, I think, after World War I from 60.
And don't quote me, but I know it was a lot of people worldwide.
Yeah, I kind of remember that from school. It was like just that one line, like, the war, so many people, casualties, everything, but the Spanish flu killed more people or something like that.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
it was just,
definitely way more. Yeah.
yeah, it was just like, I just remember that. It was so jarring. It was like one sentence or maybe a few. It was just like, but the Spanish flu went on to kill X amount of people compared to the war. And it was like, oh, wow.
I think it's interesting to hear Grandpa's different people was willing to do stuff back then, like buy stamps, and everyone was together trying to solve a problem that took 40 years to fix, and it's been like 3 months, and people are ready to like flip out.
Well, that's just the thing, right? I mean, I didn't even know there was rations and stuff back then. I never.
Going to war?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they
and curfews and stuff like that.
They ration the gasoline. You could get so many.
Yeah.
Well, so many gallons. Maybe if people was going to work back and forth to work, you could have.
You could never do that now. I mean.
Well, Brody, he was telling me before. Go out
the state because you couldn't travel if you didn't have the gasoline.
Yeah.
He was telling me before that the way they cured polio was they were handing out sugar cubes with the vaccine in it, and you just ate the sugar cube.
That was the Salk's vaccine. The first part was needles. They give you a shot. Yeah. But I think it was in the late middle 60s when they started getting the sugar cubes. And so I had the vaccine. I went and got me. People lined up. You don't take that because
not now.
Polio wasn't nothing to play with. Yeah, there was sugar cubes. That's what they were. You go, to a place just like now they got stations where you can get tested.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, place where you could go get.
That's interesting. I'm gonna write that down. Look it up.
Sugar
cubes.
Yeah.
It's just it's just wild to me that like now it's so much. There's people who will tell you don't trust the government and then turn around and say, yeah, you gotta get a vaccine from the government. Like it's
don't even.
It's like either you believe in it or you don't. Like which is it?
That's so frustrating.
When they come out with a vaccine now, it's been tested. It ain't just something that came out and overnight they haven't tried it on thousands of people.
Yeah.
And then when the polio, like I said, the polio vaccine came when Salks was, man, he was the hero at the time because the polio, man, I say it went back to the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, and it was the 60s before they ever.
Well, we got somebody right here who can tell us more about how scientific processes work. It's right here.
I know a little bit too. I thought you were talking to me, but.
He's a doctoral candidate.
Well, I'm a physics student.
That's science. Physics is the study of all matters, so it's all encompassing.
Yeah, it is. But I don't really know too much about the vaccination process. I just,
No, but like
I do.
Process,
I do.
Sharing from
Oh yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, go for it.
No, that's kind of what I was doing at State with Sean.
Yeah, you take like the vaccines, like measles, chicken pox, all they had vaccines for all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, they still do. I mean,
back when I was a kid, they got vaccine for you when you went to school. When you was in the kindergarten, they get the vaccine.
Yeah, that makes
chicken pox.
Now everyone, a lot of that like anti-vax movement, and all that stuff.
Shot you had to take, in order to go to school.
Well, speak on it, Brody.
I didn't know we were gonna get political and stuff, but like it's.
That's the show, dude.
Uh-oh. Getting checked up on.
Sebastian back there.
It
is. Is he walking?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, nice. That's fun. Have fun with that. Running around away from you.
Break it down, Brody. Say what you're gonna say in peace, bro.
It's interesting to see your Mr. Taylor's perspective on it, because now everyone's just questioning the government. The vaccine, what's this gonna do? Oh, it's gonna do this to you. But back then it was just like, I guess you did it because it was the best, because it was devastating, right?
When they find out, because they don't just put it on the market,
No.
They test it. They test and find out there's some side effects and all of that before they ever put it out. Like with the Salk vaccine, Dr. Salk's, it was years, but he came up with it. And they know, there was no side effect where somebody would die from taking it or something like that, And so people were glad to get it, you know, because paralysis was kind of, I guess you say, dominant, you know, in the area amongst, you know, the communities.
Yeah, polio is bad. I mean, now people are so against vaccinations and stuff, but I mean, it's.
I know over in we had a place, Pulaski Elementary School. This was over in Hamtramck back in the day, and the kids who caught paralysis, infantile paralysis, they had a special rehab, you know, and they had swimming pool where they could take them in there and work them, try to get those limbs back, you know, because you come out, you know, you see the kids walking with the double canes and stuff. That was no joke. It was for real back in the day, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So we're pretty fortunate to go beyond, you know, through that period in time, you know. Yeah.
Now people just don't want to take vaccines because.
Well, I'll tell you, when they approve a vaccine, I'll take it because they done did a whole lot of research. It ain't no thing where I think it worked. You know, try it. What you got to lose?
Well, but then you get people
when they
say,
come up with it, when they put it on the market, I want me a shot of it. You know.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
It's that whole anti-vax stuff, and I mean, that's just rough. Like, it just upsets me. I have to stay off Facebook, and when I see people posting stuff, it's like, I don't know. Like, it's just
what they get. I'm not on Facebook very much.
Well, I mean, just people posting like, you know.
There's their piece, Brody.
No, I was just saying, for me, like, I do not think vaccines are inherently bad. Like, I think that science works. Science is good. Science has kept us alive for a while, and it helps us improve upon stuff. But I do think there is an issue when multiple corporations are allowed to have more of a say in the development of vaccines than actual, I guess, regulated entities. And as long as I know that there's been the testing,
I'm quite sure they do. But I'm thinking, I'm trusting my government when they put it out there for everybody. I'm quite sure it'll work for everybody. You know.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a price now. It might be different. They might have put a little price tag on. Maybe you can't afford it. You know?
Yeah,
that's how good it is. You know.
We don't really have that problem over here.
Yeah.
It's a little different.
I think my general thought.
You got national health care, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, and I couldn't understand where Europe, you go to Germany, France, England, you go anywhere in European countries and they have national health care. And I swear, you got to be without health care to appreciate health care.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are going to appreciate health care now because when they got laid off, they lost their health care. But they shouldn't.
Yeah, it's that was another thing. I mean, you know, going to school in the States and stuff, like, we just had healthcare. Like, it just wasn't a thing, right?
Yeah.
And it's different over here. Like, I watch American TV, obviously, but, you know, they don't advertise medicines on our TV. Like, that's like kind of, I mean, you got commercials for like, oh, ask your doctor about this medicine or like this prescription or stuff like that. We don't have that. Like,
right.
You can't advertise for medicine. No, you're getting generic stuff. Like, whatever's cheaper, we're gonna give it to you, and it's gonna be cheap.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, the cutoff is that I got taxed on this like 13%. Like, it's more expensive over here, alcohol, than it is over there, and that's just. That's how we pay for it, right?
It's more expensive to kill yourself over there than it is over here.
If you have a tax that is high, I'm gonna use Germany as an example. Germany has a high tax on about everything, maybe 40% taxes on just about anything. But they give you a free education. What more can you ask for? You get a free education. You can go into college, you can get 4-year degree and all this with high taxes, but you're getting something for your money.
Yeah,
and so I got no complaint, you know, long as if they take my money, the taxes, and then give me some benefits from it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, if they take your money and you don't get nothing for it, you know. But I mean, I like
lots of taxes.
I like the European system of national health care, you know, where you ain't got to worry like this pandemic we got here. And a lot of folks, man, they lost their health insurance. So now what's going to happen? If the government don't pick it up, they got to pay for that.
Hey, if we get shut off, it's because the Zoom meeting ended.
Oh, less than 1 minute. What's that
Yeah.
mean? We got a timer?
Oh,
Yeah,
we
we're
ain't-
going to see people.
Yeah, we
It
don't got the
cuts
we
off.
don't got the pro right now, but no, we can always. How about this? We're gonna continue this next episode, bro. You
Next
want to come back?
episode? Yeah, for sure, man. That
Yeah,
was
in the
awesome.
next episode.
I got lots to talk about.
All right, yeah, we'll be
I
back
want to
next
chronicle
week,
my.
y'all. Hey, Grandpa, you got to sign off real quick. We're almost out of this. A couple seconds left.
Only got a couple. Well, I'll just wait till next time then.
All right,
All right,
everybody.
me too.
This is this week's show. We'll be back again.
Okay.
Cheers.
All right. Take care, y'all.
Take care. Nice